Let's f***ing go.
I love that song being up. Who's got something going on in the background?
Probably me.
I'm having an issue with my OBS today. I got, if you guys can't see it, but people watching the feed, I normally have a nice, lovely picture of Bisa, and I'm able to reposition it to put it over because she leaves her camera off for a lot of this. And it is, for some reason, I'm not able to move the picture today. So it's just going to look weird. It's kind of covering Matt and kind of covering Jim. I'm just going to take it down. And Bisa, we love you. I'm not going to have your picture up for the show, I don't think. But if you want to come on, with camera, you're going to have your own segment today, so that would be great. Dave Benz, Jim Kozamore, Matt Fowler, our producer, and Bisa, our associate producer. I'm still hearing background noise. Who's got it? Is that Koz? You turned yours down?
How's that?
Gone
Yeah,
now. Better now. What are you watching, Koz?
Trying to find something right now. I was having a little problem with my VC box and trying to come up with something to watch here.
And by the way, I think your mic sounds like it sounds like you're coming through on your MacBook mic because it's very echoey. So
Let's do this over.
Yeah, it's very echoey. That's probably why we were hearing the TV so much as well. Let's see. Oh, he's changing a setting. And we've lost the video feed. Oh, here he comes. He's coming back on. Let's hear it now. What? I'm not hearing him at all. Matt, are you hearing him?
No.
Okay. Let's see. He's going one more time.
Drum roll.
How's that? Any better?
There you
There
go.
we go.
Boom.
Hey.
We got it. Congratulations. All right.
There
Where's
we
my
go.
where's my applause sound? It's been we haven't all been back on in a while. Well, look at that. Matt's beat me to the draw on the applause sound. We haven't been back on in a while. It's good to have the gang back together, guys.
Yes.
Koz, you were in Hawaii. I was in London.
Yeah, I know. International show.
We're all over the planet, which is good. It's good to get those sky miles, those air miles going up. And we're down to a once-a-week show, which is fun to be able to be back on. A lot to get to today. We don't know if Drew is joining us or not. He said last week he was
He
going to.
is. He'll be joining us at 11 o'clock.
All right, so we're going to have Drew Goldfarb coming on at 11 o'clock. So that'll be very nice. We will get a Bisa segment in today. We have a double dose of our favorite segments combined today. We will have the mailbag. We will also have Celebrity MMA. And I don't even know where to begin, guys, because there's so many things going on. We could begin talking about the NBA Finals, which Boston last night took a commanding 3-0 lead, and they're on the verge of perhaps sweeping their way to a championship. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals are going on right now, a pivotal Game 3 tonight in that series as Edmonton goes home, trying to see if they can get back into the series or if it's going to follow suit of what's happening in the NBA and have the Panthers take a 3-0 lead. We've got Caitlin Clark embroiled in, of course, the big battle that we talked a little bit last week about, Coach. You weren't here, about her, her little dust-up that she got into on the NBA or WNBA hardwood. And then after the show, we find out that she's been left off the Team USA Olympic roster. So a lot to get to there. Tom Brady, his number gets retired by the New England Patriots. They're going to build a statue for Tom Brady. Not really a surprise there. The U.S. Open Golf Championships are going on right now. I had to find USA Network on my TV, which I remember when USA Network seemed
You
like
had to find USA Network on your TV? What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, when's the last time you watched anything on USA Network?
Dude, I watch Law & Order all the time.
I think they have Law & Order on repeat.
And I watch Monday Night Raw, dude.
Oh, well, there you go. And so I don't know.
Is that on USA Network?
Monday Night Raw? I believe it is.
Raw, wrestling used to be the big thing on USA Network. I didn't know it was still there because it's moved around a little bit.
It used to be on Spike TV. Spike TV was always fun, but then that market kind of dried up, so they changed it. And
yeah.
Then, let's see. Used to be on SmackDown. Used to be on UPN. Man, lots of good.
I just saw a wrestling movie.
Television.
Did you see the movie? Did you see the movie The Iron Claw?
I did.
Man, Zac Efron was something else. What a performance!
So you liked it? You liked the movie?
Well,
Yeah.
I will tell you, it's hard to watch.
Emily and I
It's
went to that
hard to
movie.
watch.
Emily and I went to that movie and we walked out.
What?
Wow.
It's one of the few movies I've ever walked out on. Now, full
Dude.
disclosure, you know, it's not like I was into it. It's not like when she, you know, it was her suggestion that we leave, but it wasn't, I wasn't opposed to it at all. I was kind of like, yeah, this is slow. I'm good. I've seen better things. Let's go figure out
How much does a
something else
movie
to do.
cost in London?
No, it wasn't in London. It was a long time
Oh.
ago. It was when it
Okay.
was out. So that's not exactly a ringing endorsement of that movie. And by the way, I've seen it on my TV, and I've been like, hey, maybe I should finish it. And I actually put it on for like 5 minutes, and I was like, yeah, now I remember why we walked out. I'm like,
Dude,
wow.
so I haven't finished it.
Really?
Yeah.
How could you
Come on,
walk
man.
out on that?
Yeah, we didn't like it.
Oh, the tragedy that was. Oh my God! It was. There were times when I had to look away because I was. Oh, it's just Matt. You saw it, right?
Yeah, I mean, and then of course I watched Dark Side of the Ring. We can get into this with Drew when he comes on, and Drew can tell you, just like Jim and I have told you, how wrong you are. What is
Yeah.
wrong with you, Dave?
I would say you're wrong on this one, buddy. Well, what made you walk out?
I mean, I just was slow, and it was not. I don't know. It's just maybe I'll give it another shot on the TV. Does it get better?
You and the young kids.
Does it get
you
better?
need flashing and lights.
don't
That's
get
what
better?
you need.
Like
You
with
don't
like the
even know
part.
what happens.
Yeah, I think we left. I think we left after he got cut off, like the Olympic team, or after they ended the Olympics.
Dude, you don't even. Oh my God, no, man.
So you weren't compelled, and it's fine. You weren't compelled that
No,
the
it's
one
not.
son
No,
was a
it's not,
great
Jim.
wrestler.
It's not fine.
Another son was better on the microphone, but he somehow.
And the one son was a guitar player.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
He's
And-
the one I was rooting for. I want to know what happened to that kid. Did he get a
Oh,
music
we gotta
contract?
watch it.
Tragedy.
It's
You left
dude,
before all the
tragedy.
tragedy, dude.
Tragedy.
I
Really?
mean, I watched Dark Side of
Oh.
the Ring. Dude,
Oh.
I mean, Dark Side of the Ring has this whole story with the Von Erichs, which, by the way, speaking of Hawaii, the Von Erichs, one of them, I think it's Kevin Von Erich, the last one that's living anyway, lives in Hawaii. I think he lives on Kauai, but
A lesser island.
Oh, my
exactly,
lesser island.
exactly. No, true, facts, but.
Facts.
That is one of the very tragic stories of wrestling because
Oh,
if you can
God.
appreciate, obviously everybody knows like it's scripted and everything, but if you can appreciate that and get past that and appreciate the business and these athletes for what they do, that story is just absolutely tragic with the Von Erichs.
Oh, like that the guitar playing son, and then you find out the actual link to the dad later on. Remember that there's a dinner scene where the mom
Yep.
explains something about the dad, who really is the driving force of the family. Oh man, it pained me to watch it. I told my wife I had to stop it at one point. I stopped the movie. I said it is just hard to watch. I mean this family is going through a lot, and a lot of it was because of the dad.
Yeah, well,
You know?
the dad didn't seem like a warm, fuzzy kind of guy.
No.
So, all right. So, anyway, we ended up on that because I was talking about USA Network. The U.S. Open is going on. Coz, what do you want to talk about first? What's your burning? And also, we should mention the big news story yesterday in the sports world, if you want to call it a sports story, was you had Joey Chestnut getting told that he's not welcome at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest on July 4th. And I don't know if that interests you guys to talk about, but I feel like this is all just a ploy by the hot dog eating contest to get some pub. They're like, how can we get some people to watch the hot dog eating contest? I know, let's start a controversy and say we're not going to let our best participant be a part of it because he's representing a vegan hot dog brand in addition to eating regular hot dogs. And I'm sorry, I failed to see the conflict there because I got news for you. Anybody that's going to eat a vegan hot dog is not buying a Nathan's hot dog anyway. It's not really a conflict in my mind. It's not like you're going to the store and you're saying, do I want the Nathan's hot dog or do I want the vegan hot dog? If you're a vegan, you're getting the vegan hot dog. And if you're not a vegan, you're not getting a vegan hot dog.
I disagree on two levels. I think a lot of those people, I love watching the hot dog eating contest, not because of Joey Chestnut, whom I love and is a very nice person, but because of the MC George Shea. George Shea is the reason to watch that event. The guy's introductions are second to none. He's one of the truly great American broadcasters left. But on the Chestnut thing, heck no. If you're watching that and Joey Chestnut's wearing his, which, by the way, that food is crap. That whatever it's called, Incredible Meat or Forever Meat or whatever it is, that stuff is crap. But I think some people would try it just based on Joey Chestnut. But that's like saying to you, Dave, when you're working for the Wolves, if their sponsor was Pepsi and you come walking in with a Coke, they're going to slap you around
Pepsi
for that.
and Coke are direct competitors. I don't.
So is fake meat to meat.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't agree. If I'm going to eat meat, I'm not going to buy fake meat. And if I'm not eating meat, then I'm not going to buy your product anyway. So who cares? I think I think a better comparison would be, between Coke and beer. If I'm going to buy a beer, I'm not going to buy a Coke. And if I want a Coke, I'm not buying a beer.
About that. I don't know about that.
That's true. I mean, if I want to get drunk, I'm not going to buy a Coke unless I put some Jack in it.
Exactly. But just for people who want to eat that incredible crap, it's not better for you. Look at the sodium content in that stuff. It is not better for you. It's just my jihad today is I'm against that company that makes the fake meat.
And by the way, for our London audience, the Joey Chestnut is a competitive eater. There actually is in the United States I don't know if you want to call it a league, Major League Eating.
Yeah, Major League Eating.
And it's an international thing because one of the
That's
biggest
what we do
stars
in
was
America,
Kobayashi, who was what'd you say, Matt?
I said that's what we do in America. We competitively eat.
There's competitive eating, and Joey Chestnut last year ate 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes for a new world record. He's won the mustard belt 16 times, and the guy, his net worth is well over $1 million just from eating. It is on a lot of levels. I'm not sure this is the word I want to use, but on a lot of levels, it's disgusting. Let's be honest about it.
It's hard to watch.
It is hard to watch,
but I love watching it. I love watching it.
But and it's the just right. It's got just the right sweet spot, Coz, because it's once a year. It's not like it's not like on 4th of July. You're like, I hope they do this again tomorrow. It's like, okay, once a year, and it's 4th of July, and it's a little side story. And you're like,
they have other eating contests throughout the year.
They do, but who's watching those for the most part? I mean,
they're making money.
So I have a question. So Joey Chestnut, do you think he normally enjoys food? I mean, is he able to normally enjoy food? Yes,
of course.
No, I mean, because if you're, religiously stuffing hot dogs down your throat, I mean,
it's not like he's woofing down 76 hot dogs on the daily.
No, but it's a great question because the reason that those are tainted belts, mustard belts, is because the great Kobayashi, the Japanese eater, has not been allowed to compete in that particular event because he has a deal with another hot dog brand. And so he's not been able to go toe-to-toe.
Well, but didn't he also withdraw because he was having some issues with his stomach?
Yep. He had some microbiome issues, and he's on a special, one of, 6 people they focus on regarding their eating habits. And now he said, I'm no longer going to do these competitions because, and for him, he said, I don't fill up when I eat. I just keep eating. I've been in so many of these competitions and had my body either so beat up or so used to it that he cannot enjoy food. He doesn't taste it. He doesn't feel full. He just mouths. And he's a thin little guy. But to find out, and when I watched the special, I thought it was very interesting. And their feelings on taking in food, natural food, and what's good for your body. But to find out that all of a sudden now that Joey Chestnut is kicked out of the biggest eating competition of the year, they're going to have a special one, and Kobayashi is coming out of retirement for this. I don't know. Matt, this smacks of WWE writing right here, doesn't it?
It does. No, it
does.
Somebody's going to come out and hit somebody in the face with a steel chair.
Yep.
I mean,
You know what's going to happen? They're going to be ready to eat, and the glass is going to smash, and the Black Widow, the woman who's the greatest female eater of all time, the Black Widow, is going to come walking up those stairs to take on those two guys. I swear this is going to be a WWE event.
Well, that's why I'm telling you, I feel like this whole thing with him getting banned from this year's contest is rubbish, to quote an English phrase that I've now adopted. I think it's rubbish. I think that it's all ploy to drive ratings and maybe even to drive this Netflix special. Do we know that Nathan's or these other people, whoever's running the 4th of July event, that they don't have ties into this Netflix thing? And maybe
that's one we'd have to look at. I wouldn't think so, but let's look at. You know what? We've got a producer. Matt, produce.
Yeah,
produce
find out.
that information.
Okay. Well, I will, just as an aside here, I will let you guys know, because you mentioned what was his name, Kobayashi, and he said that he just can't enjoy food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of all of his. Well, there was to not be able to enjoy food. I have a very, very, very small example of that. I was sick once, and it's not like I lost my taste buds. It was worse. I was actually in Hawaii, and I got sick. I thought it was strep throat. It wasn't. It was just a really bad cold. But
that stinks.
My throat swelled up so much that it hurt so much to swallow and eat that I just had to try and eat as fast as I could because it hurts so much.
Wow.
And
you didn't go liquid. You didn't go like to the liquid diet. Maybe get yourself a couple of smoothies with some protein powder.
No, I choked down bacon and waffles at breakfast.
Yeah, that's going to scrape on those the bad throat issue. You got to go to something soft, my friend.
Yeah, I know. But having that experience and knowing what it's like to not enjoy food for like 5 days straight, that sucks, man.
Yeah, but didn't you got back to a point where you enjoyed it again? So going back to your original question, it's like eating in general is a pleasurable thing, right? And if you're maybe he's not kicking down hot dogs, during the months of August through June, but I'm sure Joey Chestnut still enjoys eating. It's like we work in sports, but just because we're not covering a game doesn't mean we can't enjoy it. I'm sure people in the adult film industry still enjoy extracurricular activities outside of work. So I don't
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to elaborate on how this has happened, but I have been able to speak to some few people in the adult film industry, and you'd be surprised at some of their answers.
Yeah, honestly, I'd heard this. I won't get too specific, but I'd heard those are the laziest males on the planet, because most of us had to work to get something, right? We had to meet somebody, we had to take them out. It just happens for them. That's their job. So they're just kind of they have no ambition.
Well, okay. Anyway, I shouldn't have crossed that barrier. Sorry about that.
Not with this crew.
Yeah,
Not with this crew,
that.
you shouldn't.
All right, there.
Bitch, stay in.
That's always a good segue to get out of anything. By the way, speaking of women's basketball, your thoughts, Coz, on Caitlin Clark being left off of Team USA?
I think it's pretty obvious that there is some pretty sinister stuff going on in women's basketball right now, especially if there are other rookies in the WNBA who make the U.S. women's basketball team.
There wasn't any rookies on it, though, was there?
I didn't see them.
No.
I honestly, again, this goes back to one of our previous shows. How many of us have sat down and watched a full game?
I will tell you, other than Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner, I couldn't name another player that's on the women's team.
Exactly. And I'm not ripping them. We could name, and I always say her name wrong, Matt, but Sabrina Ionescu. Ionescu. That's one I can name outside of the Angel Reese, because she inserts herself into all the discussions.
Angel Reese didn't make Team USA.
She did not?
No.
All right, I have the list.
Okay.
Actually, we should play a game, Matt. We should do it after the break.
Okay.
You give us a name, and we say whether or not that is a real player on the team or a made-up player.
Or a real player in the WNBA.
Or a real player in the WNBA. That would be really funny to see. And again, I did, and I think we texted about this, because I've asked the question, has anyone done it? I made an effort to sit and watch a WNBA game with Caitlin Clark. And I got to be honest, I don't think the level of talent is any better than it was 20 years ago. I think that I could take some of those stars from 20 years ago, and I think I'd go toe-to-toe with some of these teams, and I'd be right there with them. Regardless of that, Caitlin Clark not being on the Olympic team, this is not going to be a hot take. It's an abomination. It shows you that there's a lot of bad things going on the women's side in the women's game. I do think there is a racial issue to this. I do think that there is a sexualization issue to this. She is a straight white woman, and I do think that that bothers some for some reason. And I say that because people in the league have brought it up. They've been public with that opinion. Okay, so that's not my hot take.
Well,
but you cannot keep her off the roster, even if she wasn't going to play, Matt. Dave.
Because the Olympic roster should be the 12 players that give you the best chance to win gold. Not a popularity contest, not who's going to get us the best ratings. And Caitlin Clark right now is maybe not even the top 5 of the rookie class in the WNBA. She has not been gangbusters coming out of the gates. So, if Cheryl Reeve, who's the head coach of the Team USA roster and was the Minnesota Lynx coach for a long time, if her and the Team USA basketball, decision makers don't think that it gives them the best chance to win gold, then I have no problem with her not being on the roster if that's the case.
That's fine, but I'd have to have somebody tell me that the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th players are that much better than Caitlin Clark. And the next phase to that is, even if she's the 12th player on the roster, like Christian Laettner was on the Dream Team.
I was just gonna bring that up, Dave.
All right, go ahead.
I'm sorry to steer your thunder. Dave, I have to tell you that what you just said about the Olympics being it should be the best chance to win. That is complete bullshit. Because in 1992.
Yeah, but okay, that was different.
No, you're gonna let me finish.
Go ahead and finish, but I'm telling you it was different. I know the reason why Christian Laettner was not on the roster in 1992 because anybody thought that he was the best, but was one of the top 12 players.
They chose him over Shaq.
They made a huge mistake on that, obviously, but they chose they decided they were going to give one roster spot to a college player because they wanted to pay homage in some way to the history of the team having always been amateurs. And why
did they choose, of all the college players, why did they choose Christian Laettner?
That's a debatable question. They should have chosen Shaq. There's no question. But you also have to realize that team had Patrick Ewing and David Robinson at the center position. So Shaq was never going to see the floor in front of either one of those two. I think there was another big on that team as well. Who was the other? I think they had 3 bigs on that team. It was for sure Ewing and Robinson.
See, but the point is there are ulterior motives to these selections. And there was an ulterior motive to that selection.
Do you think? But listen, I would contend Shaq was more popular than Christian Laettner. Everybody hated Christian Laettner.
But if your argument is to be believed that it's all about winning, then they would have chosen Shaq.
No, but I'm telling you, Matt, it was different because it was the first year they used the pros, and they made up their mind they were going to pay homage. So it was just. The WNBA doesn't have that. The women's basketball doesn't have that. It's like.
But any way you want to look at it, you could say, okay, well they shouldn't have chose Laettner over Shaq, or you could say, why did they choose Laettner? There are other.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm telling you, it's apples to oranges, Matt, because the 12th roster. The 12th spot on the women's team needed to go to the 12th best player overall. That wasn't the case in 92.
No, because here's the thing. People have been, Coase, correct me if I'm wrong, people have been bitching and moaning for years and years and years and years how the women's game needs to get more respect, the women's game needs to grow, the women's game needs to grow. Okay, well, here comes Caitlin Clark, I'm going to bomb threes from 40 feet like Steph Curry, okay? And you're not going to put her on the team to showcase for the whole world to see.
We were talking about her being the greatest player in the women's game and the greatest player in the history of the college women's game. That was a month ago. Now all of a sudden she's not good enough after us talking about her being the greatest to ever play.
Yeah,
she's
bullshit.
not one of the top 12 women's players. Even if she's not, the reason to put her on the roster is she's going to be on that Olympic team when they play in Los Angeles in 4 years.
100%.
So give her the experience of preparing with this crew now, because in 4 years she's getting one of those spots. It was a strictly horrific decision, and one that will force me not to watch one of their games. I won't root against them because it's not my way to root against the United States. I want America to win all golds, but I'm sorry, I cannot watch that team play after the way they handled and conducted their business. That is, of the U.S. teams, I would say the U.S. women's basketball and the U.S. women's soccer teams would be the two teams most Americans will have the least amount of interest in.
See, and there's this, Jim, as you mentioned, there's this racial component to it.
Yep.
There's this sexuality component to it.
Yep. That's coming
And-
from the WNBA. That's not coming from me, just to point that out. But go ahead,
Right.
Matt.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there and I think that and this is strictly an ego thing. I think they're looking at this straight white woman, and they don't like that she's the one that's been chosen to carry the torch.
Yeah, she hasn't been chosen. She's played the best. The NBA chooses guys to be stars. All right, they want to fit somebody into the peg. When Michael was leaving, they were trying to find the next guy. Was it going to be Kobe? They kept shoving Stackhouse. They shoved Stackhouse down our throat. Jerry Stackhouse was supposed to be the next guy. North Carolina, look at him jump. He can shoot jumpers. He's like Michael. They were trying to find the next. In this one, she played her way into it. She earned it. So she should be rewarded because of what she does for the women's game. But you know what? The women's game is only screwing up their own game. So you go about it, ladies. You choose to do what you do. You run out the same group that you've been running out the last couple of Olympic Games. Run out 42-year-old Diana Taurasi, because we need to see her one more time. All right?
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I have two thoughts. Number one, Caitlin Clark not being on the roster, or had she been on the roster, moves the needle for me 0% as to whether or not I will watch the women's Olympic basketball team. I'm just telling you my opinion. This is what the show's about, Matt. It's about giving our opinions, okay? I'm telling you, in my opinion.
Maybe not your opinion.
But you as a
Matt, you're the biggest Caitlin Clark apologist on the planet. You only love her slightly less than you love Steph Curry. I will tell you, for me personally, it moves the needle 0%, because I'm going to give you a reason. I'm going to give you a reason to root for Team USA, the women's basketball, and have beyond just that, I'm an American and I want America to win. I'm going to give you a reason to watch, okay? Brittany Griner's your reason to watch. After what that woman went through.
Oh, my God. That's another reason not to watch. It's an embarrassment that she is in the country. We gave up a terrorist to bring her here when she broke drug laws in Russia. Sorry about that. We have got servicemen sitting in a prison in Russia, and we save a basketball player who actually broke a law? Yeah, that's disgusting. I will never watch a game that she's involved in. That is disgusting that you would even bring it up.
I agree. We freed an international arms dealer to get a basketball player.
Yeah, to get a women's basketball player. Oh, isn't she old? Isn't she like in the end of her career?
She could dunk, man. See, and listen, at the end of the day,
and somebody
dude,
said,
she had a tiny bit of weed. I mean,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I care that she had that or not. It's that country's law. Sorry.
Yeah, you
don't smoke weed,
okay,
dog.
But she didn't deserve to be put in a prison.
That's their rule. I agree, but that's their rule.
And see, here's the thing, and this is what everybody was crying about, and this and that. They said, oh, if it was LeBron, he would be on the first plane. LeBron would have never been stupid enough to go over there and do that.
Well, hey, listen, all I can tell you is
you're okay with giving up an international arms dealer.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Let's let this international arms dealer potentially murder more people. But hey, we got a basketball player home. That's cool.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. there are certain things that are legal in California that are not legal everywhere in the United States, and that are not legal in other countries. And some of us may have legitimately traveled internationally recently and realized upon their arrival in their international country that they may have carried a little bit of that with them into the other country and not realizing that they had it with them. So
Yeah, but you went to London, Dave. You went to London.
I didn't say it was me. I just saying
Yes, you
somebody in
did.
the audience may have had a similar experience as to what I'm saying. That's very possible that that could have happened to somebody. It can happen very easily. So
But you went to a friendly country, Dave. You didn't go to Russia. You wouldn't have done that in Russia.
I do say if you're traveling to Russia, you probably should be dotting your I's and crossing your T's a little bit more closely than if you're going to a friendly country. Yes, you are correct. A place where the prison system is not good. All right. Well, there you go. There's our hot takes on.
Those are hot.
Those were really hot. Like you guys are so. I was shocked. You guys were vicious on the Brittany Griner thing, man.
Oh, that is so filthy that we gave up an international arms dealer who has said he wants to take down America. We gave that guy up for a basketball player.
Let me. By the way, let me just.
How do you laugh at that, Dave? Honestly, I'm asking a serious question. How do you laugh at that?
I'm laughing because at
That's
the end of the day, listen, she's a human being as much as anybody else is, and she was being used by Russia as a political pawn. They were putting her into a much harder prison and a much harder prison sentence than the average person would have gotten because they knew that she had celebrity here in the United States. It was a political play
She's
by
a
Russia.
non-celebrity here.
Okay, hang on.
She's a known
Two
name,
things.
Coach. You know who she is. She's more. Listen,
but
but
that's 'cause
it's
we're in
not like
sports.
it's not like she's Joe Smith, a plumber. Who would have never been having the Joe Smith, a plumber in Russia.
We have
Dave,
U.S. servicemen are in jails there, and we didn't get them out. We got a basketball player out.
I'm not saying that those people should be in prison
International
either.
arms dealer.
It was a political thing,
Dave,
Coach. There were politics involved, and she
Dave,
was
two
being
things.
persecuted extraordinarily because of who she was.
Dave, two things, and then we'll get off this, and then we'll take a break, okay? Because I'm producing the show, and I gotta have some freaking order around
And do
here.
you have,
okay?
do you have a break?
Exactly.
Do you have a break lined up as
Holy
I'm
crap.
sitting here lining up a break? I know you don't
This
have
is
a
why
break
we're a
lined up.
team, man.
The
This is why
producer
we're
of
a
the show
team.
is supposed to have the break lined up. But anyway, go ahead.
So, one thing, don't mean to get hella serious about this, but the whole she was a political prisoner and everything, blah 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 blah. Try to explain that to the family who gets murdered by the AK-47 that was sold to some guy by the arms dealer. Try to explain that to them. They're not going to be too forgiving about that.
There you go.
Two, essentially, and I'm not going to say the name. We all know who, but I'm not going to get political. But whoever's in the White House looked at this situation and actually said, probably before nap time, "Hey, let's." You know what? Basketball player for international arms deal. That seems like a fair deal.
You're way oversimplifying it. It took months for.
You're not simplifying it enough.
Okay. Well, listen. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, you guys have some valid points, but there also were politics behind it. It was something that went on for a long time to try to get that to get her home.
So
and
how
are
would
there
you
other
explain it
people?
to
Are there other people that should have been brought home? Should we not have given up an arms deal? So you're saying we shouldn't have made the deal? We should have just kept the arms dealer and kept her in prison?
I'm saying we should never give up an international arms dealer, and I'm saying we should get the U.S. service people out of jails before we get a random basketball player out who actually broke a law.
Listen, I think
how do you explain it again, Dave? How do you explain it when that international arms dealer is behind some sort of attack or something? How do you explain that?
Well, you're going to tell me that the international arms dealer, somebody else didn't pop up and wasn't running in his place? I mean, come on. That's naive to think that there's not.
How can you even come close to comparing
deflecting.
a random women's basketball player doesn't move the needle at all and an arms dealer? I just don't understand how you can honestly put those together.
Was it a straight 1-for-1 deal? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
they
the
walked.
specifics.
They
It
walked
was.
by one another on the tarmac.
I mean, listen.
They walked by one another.
Hey, the politics of it obviously played into it, right? And it was, but You guys, I'm just going to tell you that I feel like she was going through hell because of who she was,
Yeah.
and
So are those
Russia.
those army guys.
People get murdered because of this.
Okay.
And you're telling us that
Yeah,
oh,
you're saying definitively that now this guy has been linked to murder since he's left prison?
Well, before he left prison, he was linked to murder. You don't
Right,
need to be
exactly.
linked to murder more than once. You don't need to be linked to murder more than once. Like,
All right. I didn't know I was going to get teamed up on this one.
Well, that's an odd choice. Like to choose a random women's basketball player over, even if you're going to make the move over U.S. Armed Services people who are in jails there. Here's the politics that were involved. One guy wanted to garner favor with a voting block. That's it. That's the politicization that went on with this, because he could have saved the armed forces people. I would do whatever I could to save our people.
But because of Brittany Griner's celebrity, whether you want to say it's celebrity or not, she's a known quantity. There were a lot of people there there was a more vocal group that was crying for her to be released.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that the people that are
that's fine. Keep crying.
That the people that are in prison don't have people trying to lobby for them to get out. But we know the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And Brittany Griner was being, she was getting a more severe penalty than the average.
The other guys aren't.
Russia, dude.
Hey, the other guys who are in jail aren't exactly at the Four Seasons.
Well,
okay, so enough. She's in jail. She committed a crime in their world. That's on her. All right, you know the rules going in. If I go to Russia, I'm not going to carry weed on me.
Yeah, like you know what?
I've got a better idea. Just don't go to Russia.
Say it. Hang on. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
Sad but true.
I'm gonna say it. This is gonna sound like victim blaming. I don't care. Brittany Griner was stupid. Why the hell are you bringing weed into Russia?
That's fair.
Why? What are you doing?
She was going there because she was getting paid a lot of money by oligarchs to play basketball.
Right? No. I know why she went there, but why the hell did you? I just really. I don't think I'm gonna ever go to North Korea and break a law there. I don't think I'll ever go to North Korea.
Yeah,
period,
I'm not gonna steal a flag like that poor kid from Ohio did, who got beat to death.
Well,
yeah.
All right, you guys have been hot today. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. We are way overdue for a break. We got Drew Goldfarb coming up at the top of the hour. We've got Celebrity MMA, and we've got the mailbag. Should we do mailbag next segment? Or do we want to?
I got to get a power cord, or I won't be on the next segment.
Well, you get a power cord. We're gonna hit a break, and when we come back, let's take a look at the mailbag for today. And we also still need to talk about the NBA. The NBA finals are going on, although only one team has shown up to this point. You are listening to LFG, our Thursday 10 to noon Pacific spot. 1 to 3 Eastern. Back with more after this timeout.
Y'all ready for this?
What a shot by Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore! Drive it 400 yards!
He's a publicist's dream.
Happy Gilmore. He's been the talk of the course today with his huge drives and his amazing...
Hey, my girlfriend's dead, you know.
Don't worry. I won't tell anybody.
I've heard you've done some really interesting things here.
Hey, who's that?
Shooter McGabb.
You killed a golf legend.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors. I'm sorry, Shooter. There's nothing I can do.
Guess I'll have to take care of this myself.
He's just threatened by you.
Congratulations, murderer.
You know, I know what you're doing right now, and I don't like it.
Let's do it. Like,
Okay, we'll go on a date.
You gotta give me a big, fat kiss. You gotta pretend that you like it, too.
How's that nice girlfriend of yours?
Oh, she's dead.
you killed Bob Barker.
I know that, and I'm sorry.
Kick him off the tour.
That might be extreme considering the fact that our ratings were the highest that we've ever had.
I was on this tour for one reason, money. But now I got a new reason.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Listen, this call's about business. Anybody I get close to dies. If I were you, I'd run.
Answer me! You got that, baby? That ain't where that came from, yeah! Shoot on that, baby! Oh, my God!
Somebody closer!
Get me out of here! You're gonna die, clown! Stay still!
We're having no more anything!
Oh my God, power failure. It's getting very scary in here.
I'm Cash Saroy, and this is the Collectible Network, the world's first streaming network devoted to sports cards and collectible content of all kinds.
You're live on the Collectible Network.
Have you ever been in a sports card break? Try it. It's easy. Win an online auction for your team, then watch our live stream on Twitch or YouTube, and all of the cards from the team you won get shipped to you the next day. You're amazing.
Thank you for subscribing.
Follow the Collectible Network on social media right now. The Collectible Network, where you are, we are. This is One of One.
It's the bottom of the hour, or close enough. Time for your Tickscape Studios Sports Update with Matt Fowler.
J.J. Redick will formally interview for the LA Lakers coaching job this weekend, and a strong performance is expected to move him to the forefront of the franchise search. Redick, an ESPN analyst who's played 15 years in the league, had a 90-plus minute visit with Lakers VP and GM Rob Pelinka last month at the Chicago Draft Combine. Now a trip to LA will go far deeper into detail on the job, and the meetings will include Pelinka and owner Jeannie Buss. This is after Dan Hurley turned down a $70 million contract offer. For all the latest news, updates, and hot takes, tune in to LFG with Dave Benz, Jim Kozimor, and myself, producer Matt Fowler, and associate producer Bisa. Now back to LFG.
Welcome back. The Thursday weekly 2-hour journey that is LFG. Glad to have you aboard. Bisa will be on later with a Who's Your Daddy segment that she has come up with for us.
I want to know. I didn't know. I want to know who my daddy is. I didn't know that.
That sounds naughty.
One
of my
Pedro
daughters.
Martinez. Pedro Martinez is everybody's daddy. Don't you remember?
There you go. There you go. Yes.
One of my daughters toured Indiana University, and I wanted to buy a Who's Your Daddy T-shirt if she had decided to go there. I thought that would have been awesome.
That is the most dad move ever.
It is. I've got all of my daughters. I've got a shirt with their university and dad, like Tennessee dad, SCAD dad. So Savannah College of Art and Design dad. I've got one for all of them.
Yeah, that's awesome to have all that. You got to represent, man.
You got to, right? You got to. I'm proud. All the schools are going to. Why not? You got to do that. But I thought the Who's Your Daddy T-shirt would have been the bomb.
Yeah, that would be a good shirt for you to have.
Yeah, that would be great.
You take pride in rocking that. By the way, I want to mention real quick, I said at the top the U.S. Open is going on. It's underway at Pinehurst, and Scotty Scheffler back in the mix. Well, you know what happened since we've been away, guys? The Louisville Police Department and DA, whatever, they dropped all charges against Scotty Scheffler. And some of the body cam footage, like the body cam footage of the arresting officer wasn't activated, but apparently some of the other officers on the scene had theirs on, and it did not look good for the Louisville Police Department. They really didn't work. That was not a good move on their part.
And I guess the one guy in particular has had a couple of run-ins that were similar to this. So it was just the wrong guy, wrong police officer at the wrong time, doing the wrong thing. So I'll tell you why they swept it under so quickly. Louisville wants to stay in the rotation to get more and more major events. And if you start to get a pockmark on you and that your police officers aren't going to work with you, nobody wants to come in and deal with that kind of garbage. So that's a smart move for Louisville to fix it up quick.
Yeah, and I don't know if Scheffler has teed off yet at the U.S. Open. He's not on the leaderboard, so my guess is he has not started his round yet. I haven't seen him up on the coverage I've glanced at either, but the guy is absolutely just dialed in and playing well. He won last weekend, I believe, at the Memorial. out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Again, the USO. I don't usually watch the early rounds, but I'll probably be watching this Father's Day Sunday, the final round of the U.S. Open, to see who wins it.
Anything special coming up for your Father's Day? What do you got going on?
Well, my son is where you were a week ago at this time. My son is in Hawaii, so I will not be seeing him for Father's Day, which is a little deflating. His uncle on his mom's side lives in Hawaii, and he's got a couple of cousins out there, so he's out there visiting him. And Coz, you probably can understand how this feels, right?
Which island?
On Oahu. He flew.
That's awesome.
He flew solo, which he had done one other time. He flew solo one other time to come meet me actually in Memphis during the 22 NBA playoffs, and actually had to have a change plane at that point, and he was 13. So that was big. But he had a nonstop, and I gave him on his way out to the airport, I gave him his passport. Like I entrusted my son with his own passport. I know that doesn't sound like anything significant.
No, it's a big deal.
But in my head, I was like, "Wow, I'm entrusting my son with his own passport."
Yeah. I mean, I get it. He's growing up. That first one, you hand it to him. You hope they don't lose it. Does he have do you know what the plan is for him while they're there? Are they going to go to the North Island? Are they going to go to Festpac? Are they going to go to Waikiki? Do you know what the story is for him?
I don't know. I need to call him today to see how it's going. But he did say that he thought he and his cousin Ty were going to go do some surfing. So
that's good.
Should be. That's
good. That's it. You know what? North Shore is where the good surfing is, but I would probably go to Waikiki and learn there. I know it sounds.
Yeah.
It's the, what would you say Waikiki is? It's more commercialized, but
the waves are the waves. Yeah, that's a better beginner spot for the surfing.
Do you know what town he stays in when he visits his uncle?
I mean, technically, I think it's technically Honolulu. It's like the suburbs of Honolulu, but it's Honolulu. It's up high.
Is it Ko'olina?
No. Ko'olina's out. Ko'olina's not in Honolulu. Ko'olina is 40 minutes away from Honolulu.
Is it Haleiwa?
I don't know. It's been a long time. I have not been to Hawaii in at least a decade, and
dude, you got to start going.
I know. I need to get out there again.
You're right there. My wife grew up on the island, and she's done after a week. I could have spent another month. I don't know why. I used to hate going to Hawaii.
I love it. I could be out there. I could be out there. And I get it. If you live there, it probably is a little different. You probably do start getting some island fever.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, if you could live in Hawaii and I'm not even saying it needs to be like, a yacht with a helicopter pad, but that'd be nice. But if you could be in Hawaii and have a small little boat, and I mean, is it safe to boat from island to island, like on your own boat? Like how long of a journey is that?
I'm not a boat person. I do
200 miles from Maui to Oahu.
Okay.
Oh, that's doable. I talked to people. One of my brothers-in-law did Los Angeles to Honolulu.
Really? Now, see, that would freak me out.
You know what? They actually there was a point when they lost communication with them, and there was a thought that they might have perished. There was a real worry about it, and it lasted a lot longer than it was supposed to. It was supposed to be 2 weeks, and it was 4 weeks or something like that. But they were running out of food. That was a scary situation. So that's big. But I would think island to island, you could do that. I'm not a big boat guy, although I do the booze cruise when I'm in Honolulu.
So Matt, since you seem to know, what are the closest two islands? Like, are there two islands that are easy to hop from? Like, there's got to be two islands in that chain that
Maui
aren't that far.
Maui and Kauai, right?
Well, I've always done Maui to Oahu. I mean, that seems to be the most popular one.
Right, but what else? But there's got to be geographically. There's got to be two islands that you can
there's
like.
Kona. There's Kauai.
The Big Island.
Yeah, I've been to I've only been to Oahu and the Big Island. Those are the only two I've been to.
You haven't been to Maui?
I've never been
Maui.
to Maui.
Is overrated.
I hear that.
When you go, Matt, do you just go and stay at the resorts?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's that. Then you're not going to Hawaii. You might as well just go to somewhere on the beach in California or in Florida.
Nope.
You gotta go to Oahu and you gotta stay in the towns. Go to Haleiwa. I stay in Kailua. That's where I love going. I would go there or Haleiwa. But if I was gonna do a resort-ish lifestyle, and I told my wife this, for 25 years we've been going. I've always wanted to stay at the Moana Surf Rider right there on the beach. You got a pool, you got a bar. I get my Mai Tai, and then 10 steps, I'm in the ocean. It's perfect.
All right, so hang on, Jim. Are you saying that that staying at the Four Seasons in Maui wouldn't be something you'd want to do?
Nope.
Come on.
I would not. Nope. That is for people who go there and stay in places like that. That's fine, but you're not experiencing Hawaii. You're not experiencing the small town life of what Hawaii is. But I get it. You stay in the place where like Billy Bean and Nancy Pelosi stay. Is that where you go?
One time that was, but yeah, no, we
because I went into so for the story, my children and Billy Bean's children were in the same elementary and middle school. And
really?
Billy and I got to know one another. And we said I told him we were going to Hawaii. He goes, "Oh, you going to Maui?" I said, "No, we go to Oahu." He goes, "Oh, you got to go to Maui. You got to stay at, maybe it's where you stay, the Four Seasons or whatever it was." He goes, "Oh, yeah, Nancy Pelosi stays there." He goes, "Everyone's there. Everyone who's anyone goes there." I don't want that. That is a resort. You're eating that resort. You could pick it up and plop it down in South Carolina on the water, and you get the same experience.
But you can't though.
Yes.
You can't. Well, no.
Well, listen, as far as the geography, I'm looking at the map. So my dream would be coast, go live on a boat and hop from island to island.
Really? You're a boat guy. You're a big boating guy.
That would be awesome. Live on a boat, and it looks to me like Molokai, Lanai, Maui, and Kauai are all like within 10 kilometers of each other. So you could conceivably you could have those 4 islands and just kind of and you could make the journey, it's 10 kilometers. You could sail that in less than an hour and be from one to the other. That would be sweet.
You know how to sail? Honestly,
I don't.
I
don't know the first thing. I don't. But that's the dream, is to figure that out.
Well, why don't you do it?
Well, there's
you got 3 years to wait, but in 3 years.
We'll see. We'll say that's not a bad. We could be doing LFG from my boat in Hawaii in 3 years.
You know what? By then, the ticket business will be.
By the way, there is a Tickscape update coming, not a Matt Fowler Tickscape sports update, but an actual Tickscape update coming probably still before the end of this month. We are very very close to having it at a level where it is at a very foundational level, ready for public consumption. So It's been a long haul and a lot of late night calls. But
that's very exciting. So just for people who are listening to understand, because they'll say, "Why do we need another ticket service?" I think yours has a pretty good. Like, let everyone know what the catch is with yours.
Think Travelocity for tickets. So rather than having to go to each ticket site to find out what your best deal, where you're going to get your best deal for tickets to an event, and have to check them all individually, we do all the work for you at no cost to you, by the way. So
yes, unless you'd like to be a primary member, right?
No, there's no cost. There's no cost ever.
Oh, I thought you guys had a special upgraded
no.
Like
the
Prime
only
membership
upgrade,
if you wanted to.
No, the only upgrade is if you want to register an account, you can register an account, and then what that does is it unlocks your ability to save searches and send things to friends and have friends see what events maybe you're attending and all that. But and also it will allow a price alert feature to be unlocked as well. But that's all. It's all free. Our whole concept on it was from day one. I never wanted it to be something where people had to give any information or any kind of payment structure. Like, if you want to go use it and be completely anonymous and never let us know that you used it, that's totally fine. We don't need any of your information, any of your data. We don't need your email address. We don't need your name. We don't need your phone number. We don't need anything. If you want to give us that data to unlock the other features that the site offers, then great. But you're not obligated to do it.
All righty.
So
that's a little we're waiting for the update later this month. You'll be able to pick it up and get it done.
Yeah.
That's a good get. That's a good, see, you came up with a good one. By then, so 3 years from now, your son graduates. He goes to Savannah College of Art and Design to design video games. And you go buy a boat with all that mailbox money you're getting. And you and your lovely gal, you move to Hawaii.
Exactly. That would not be a bad plan. I'm on board with that. All right. Hey, I don't know if we have enough time to get the mailbag before the top of the hour in Drew, so we're going to save that.
By the way, it'll be tough to do San Jose State baseball from Hawaii, but
yeah. But while we have a couple of minutes, Coz, let's and I do want to get. I don't want to make you into an abbreviated NHL segment either. So let's. I don't think we have a lot.
That's
to say.
all we need is abbreviated.
Really?
Yeah, it's right now. It's Florida on top, and it's must-win tonight for Edmonton.
All right, well then let me shift to that because that actually will play it well into Drew too because Drew is Drew
was there. Drew was there.
Drew was there. So I'll cue up the hockey music, and the Coz is we were doing a 2-minute minor. Maybe that's all it doesn't have to be an official 2-minute minor, but Coz, the Stanley Cup Finals taking place. The Florida Panthers have a 2-0 lead. The Edmonton Oilers get home ice tonight. And this is it. This is the pivotal game in the series because has anybody ever come back from 3-0 down in the NHL?
Yes, they have. The LA Kings did it against San Jose, and I don't remember the other times, but yes.
It did. It has happened, and I think it's happened in the Stanley Cup final
Wait,
as well.
that's what I'm saying. In the finals, Matt. I don't care about the playoffs. The finals.
I do think it's happened in the Stanley Cup final. I'll have to look that up. But it has been a remarkable series. Hard-hitting series, Florida up 2-0. And the remarkable thing is Edmonton's offense is about as powerful as any offense in the National Hockey League. They have only been able to tally 1 goal, and their 2 big goal scorers, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, have been left off the goal-scoring list, while McDavid does have an assist in this thing. It has been remarkable the way Sergei Bobrovsky, the goalkeeper for Florida, has played. He is the MVP of the series through 2 games. But Game 3, pivotal Game 3, a must-win for the Edmonton Oilers. They can come back because the firepower is so good, but they have not been able to solve Bobrovsky. If you watch the game, watch tonight. Will Edmonton start to shoot the puck up high? It is almost impossible to beat Bobrovsky down low. He is, I think... you know what? Let's wait until Drew comes on. But his down low save percentage is like, high 90%. But his up top save percentage is not as strong. So let's see if Edmonton changes where they try to shoot the puck and try to get one by him.
Coz, I have two pieces.
Do we want Drew to join you for the 2-minute minor right now? Because he's in the studio.
If he's in the studio.
Yeah, if he's in the studio, we can bring him in.
He might have this stat. He might even have the stat because his numbers. His numbers are phenomenal.
Drew.
Hey, Drew.
So, say hello to Drew Goldfarb, everybody, with DGPicks.com. Good to see you, our friend. How's that going, man?
We need bonus Drew. All right, bonus Drew. Drew, on Sergei Bobrovsky's save percentage on shots down low versus up high. I know this sounds like I'm getting into the minutia. I guess it's because I am. But he's nearly unbeatable when you try to shoot the puck down low on him. Are you familiar? Am I getting that right?
That is basically correct, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually true for a number of goalies, at least the split. Bob has been ridiculous in this postseason, but because of the style that they play, where they tended to play much lower, even compared with the butterfly, that was the predominant way for goalies to play 10 years ago, it makes that bottom 2 feet, 3 feet of the net almost impenetrable.
Yes.
Drew, you were in Florida. I know you were at Game 1. Were you both games 1 and 2?
I was down there for Game 1, but I only went to Game 2. Got my rally towel for that one. So I watched Game 1 with a bunch of friends at a sports bar in South Florida, and then went to Game 2 and got to see that and be in the building for that. Only the 3rd time in franchise history the Panthers have won a Stanley Cup final game, and I got to be there for that one.
Is South Florida engrossed right now, and are they gripped with Stanley Cup fever?
I have never seen that arena like that. I saw a game in Vegas last year when the 2 teams played. I have never seen the atmosphere quite like that, like it was at Amerant Bank Arena over the weekend and for Game 2. That was, it's amazing to see because I grew up there in the midst of the Panthers not winning a playoff series for 20 years and not making the playoffs for 11. So seeing what that is now is incredible, and it's a testament to a commitment to winning from the ownership group down there, which is something the Panthers did not have prior to 2014 or 2013.
I covered a handful of Panthers games back in the day when I was in Miami. At the the building was called the National Car Rental Center, or the NCRC, as we liked to call it. And Pavel Bure was the star on that team, I believe, dating Anna Kournikova for a period of time during that time. And it was, but they were like, I remember one year they won the President's Trophy, and then as teams that win the President's Trophy are apt to do, don't do well in the postseason for some weird reason that I've never been able to understand.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. The Panthers were the best regular season team in the NHL. Didn't help them in the postseason. The next year, they had another new coach. Paul Maurice came in. That was a year ago, a year and a half at this point. They had a bit of a slow start and then were fantastic from January onward and had that deep run to the Stanley Cup final last year. And then this year, they've been one of the best teams in hockey start to finish, and are, appear to be in a much better position health-wise today than they were 12 months ago today, because today's actually the one-year anniversary of the Golden Knights winning Game 5 and winning the Stanley Cup. So much different situation the Panthers find themselves in this year, but it's like I was saying when I was previewing this series, the Oilers have been the best team in hockey since November. The Panthers have been one of the 2 or 3 best teams in hockey for the last 3 years.
All right. Well, Coach, I was going to say, hold that thought. Let's get our top of the hour break out of the way, and we'll be back with Drew Goldfarb and DG Picks. We'll dive more into the hockey. I know that Coach and Matt have some wrestling stuff they want to address with you as well, Drew. And of course, we want to get to some action notes from you, whatever's on your radar with that. So it's all ahead with Drew Goldfarb. Stay with us. The Thursday LFG continues after this quick timeout. And Coach took off his headset. This commercial is just for him, and he's not going to hear it, but that's all right.
Woo, you sure got to climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will. But today I am still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm gonna live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so
By that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
He signed your bill. Now you're a law.
Oh, yes.
Are you ready? Let's do it. Live From the Tickscape Studios, let's f***ing go.
Welcome back. LFG on the air. Thursday is our regular day now for LFG. And Drew, listen, you played a factor in that. We were like, we want to do the show once a week. What day should we do it? We already had you lined up for Thursdays. We're like, let's just keep that going because you're a big part of what we do, my friend.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's always good to be here. And, Thursday morning, right after get a beer league hockey game in for me on Wednesday night over at City National Arena in Summerlin. And, we had a win. I didn't really hit the score sheet much, but, a win's a win, right?
Coz, by the way, you took the headset off during the entirety of a spot that I played just for you.
Oh, man. You're kidding.
Yeah, I played the I'm Just a Bill up on Capitol Hill for you.
Oh, that's a quality one. Probably that's top 2, I would say. That's
what would be the other one? What would be the other one? Conjunction Junction? What's your function?
That's quality. They do have some good number ones as well. Boy, I don't know. We'd have to go over that. We'll do a segment on that later in the show. I'm about to post my sit-down interview with the logo Jerry West. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we haven't talked about that.
Jim, by the way, I saw you on TV yesterday. Yeah,
I know, huh?
No, yeah, I did.
From years ago.
Oh, yeah. Where was that?
It was the. I think it was during the Giants pregame or something. Where they they mentioned the passing of Jerry West and they said, hey, Jim Cosmore sat down, and I'm sitting there watching the pregame going, hey, there's Jim.
That's awesome.
It was
that on? Did he come on Chronicle?
Yeah, that was on Yahoo.
We did a
Sports
special.
Talk, yeah.
We did a special. It was like a full Jerry West 2-part special where it was just him and I sitting down. And unfortunately, it's the biggest name in basketball. He was part of the Warriors when they're on the crest, kind of right there, about ready to start their run, and they gave a Studio B. I didn't even get my own studio. I didn't even get my own set.
Yep,
I had to go to Studio B.
Hey, you know what? Exactly. And those of us that worked in the office know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I saw that and I'm like, what the hell do they have
Studio
Jim
B
and
is
Jerry
a
West
closet.
in Studio B?
Studio B is a closet. Hey, Coz, I don't know what your experience with Jerry West was but I will tell you that I talked to Jerry probably a half dozen times over the course of my time with the Timberwolves, and maybe the first time I had to introduce myself to him, and then he was like, oh yeah, like when I introduced myself to him, like he knew who I was, and every subsequent time after that. He not only knew who I was, but he addressed me by my name. And I I tweeted that out yesterday that, that is kind of that I think shows the level of detail that he had in his life as he approached things. It's like he did not miss a detail, and knowing who Dave Benz, the play-by-play guy for the Minnesota Timberwolves was, and knowing his name, I'm sure that really wasn't ultimately all that important on his radar, but like he took the time to know it.
Drew would vouch for this. You're a memorable guy. I think Jerry's with the throngs, the thousands who would remember you.
Yeah. So anyway, he was very couldn't have been more cordial to me. And so the sports world and the world in general lost a really good one yesterday. Anyway, we kind of got sidestepped there, and I cut off because you were going to ask Drew about we were talking about the Stanley Cup Finals, and I cut you off before you could get your question for Drew out.
You know what it was? It was a question actually about that Florida stretch just before this 2-year run. Isn't what side railed them the Joel Quenneville situation? Wasn't Quenneville behind the bench, and they were really playing well? And then there was the story about his time with the Blackhawks and how they completely mishandled a horrible situation off ice, and everyone from that group kind of was washed out of the National Hockey League. And didn't that set Florida back a season? I think they were ready to start winning when he was behind the bench.
So they did start they did start winning when he was behind the bench, and it was a very short-term thing, but they have had 3 head coaches in the last 3 years, but it was that first year they won the President's Trophy, and then last year where they snuck into the playoffs because they had an amazing run. Once they bought into Paul Maurice's system and figured out what their responsibilities were, they basically turned the corner. So aside from like October to December of 20, what would that be? It was in 22. They've been one of the best teams they may have been the best team in hockey in the last 3 years, even despite playing under 3 head coaches in that time. But yeah, that was what if you want to look at the President's Trophy curse and like what it is that leads to a team like that and not going deep into the postseason, that was that season.
This Stanley Cup Finals is the greatest distance between two cities that has ever been experienced in the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't know that that really is much of a factor, especially this time of year where you're not dealing with inclement weather going up to Edmonton.
Well, they were in Florida. They were delayed hours getting out of Florida.
Oh, really? Because there were storms rolling through, huh?
Yeah, it rained every single day I was down there. I was down there from Thursday until Tuesday. It rained at least every day from like 2:30 to 4 o'clock. So Florida was just like, hey, welcome back. We know you missed this. So that was basically what happened. But yeah, their flight was delayed getting out. I know Steve Goldstein, the play-by-play guy for the Panthers, was having some flight issues where he was getting bounced around a little bit. I think connected like 3 times to get to Edmonton.
He's not on the charter?
He
I was going to say, what?
So because TV doesn't call the games after the first round, he was traveling, I believe, he works for a local station in South Florida, WFOR, and I believe that he was traveling as a representative of CBS for Miami and not as a representative of the Florida Panthers to go cover that.
Yeah, but you still think they used to, but I also understand this time of year, those seats on the charter, they're getting everybody from the front. They're getting as many fannies on that plane as they can.
They also bring the extra bodies that are the healthy scratches. It's not necessarily the 23 guys that you're used to, so.
Yeah.
Have a lot.
Drew, what's up with listen, I'm by no means am I completely all that well versed in what's been going on in the NHL this year, but I do know that Edmonton, their strength in getting to the finals has been their power play. They've been absolutely dynamic in taking advantage of power play opportunities. What has gone wrong with them in that regard in the first 2 games of the finals?
What went wrong with him is what went wrong with every opponent the Panthers have played in the postseason, which is Alexander Barkov is one of the best, if not the best, 2-way forward in the NHL. He has been out there and tasked with basically going opposite of the top offensive players from every team they've played in the postseason. And it's not just McDavid and Draisaitl and Zach Hyman that have been held off the score sheet. It's everybody. They shut down Panarin. They shut down Pasta. They shut down everybody they've played. Which is why when I'm in the arena watching Game 2 and you see Draisaitl launch into an elbow to the head of Barkov and knock him out for the last 10 minutes or so of that game, that was holding my breath basically for the rest of the game. But he did practice yesterday in his normal jersey. So Barkov is a massive piece of this Panthers team, and it's part of what Paul Maurice's system does where, Game 1, they gave up a number of shots, a number of opportunities, and that is so unlike the Panthers in the postseason. And then you go back to, Game 2 the other night, and they had literally 2 mistakes in the entire game, and that's where Edmonton got their 1 goal. They took a bad penalty during a 5-minute power play, which led to it being 4-on-4, and on that 4-on-4, they had 3 players pinched down low. I think a slight miscommunication because it looked like Aaron Ekblad was pinching, expecting Sasha Barkov to replace him at the point, but Barkov was also trying to play on the forecheck, and that led to an odd man rush going the other way, which was the only goal Edmonton scored. Other than that, the Panthers have entirely shut down every player they've played, every single top one, and it's kind of hard to. McDavid is ridiculous. He's amazing to watch.
I was going to ask you about that. What's it like seeing him in person when he hops over the boards? I mean, just watching him on television, he has a gear that no other player in the league currently has. But I wonder what it's like in person. Does it really show that much when he's got the puck?
Oh, yeah.
He just does things different than everyone else.
He does, and I watched him during warm-ups. I was down low just to watch during the warm-ups, and we were on the Edmonton side. And McDavid, if you watched Game 2 and you saw that there was a power play chance that the Oilers had, and McDavid basically played like if you've ever seen 6-year-olds on the ice with their instructor who's a very good hockey player, and towards the end of the practice for fun and to try and get the kids better at skating, the instructor will play keep away with the puck. McDavid was practicing that and then executed it in the game. The problem was none of his teammates were open, so he didn't have a real good scoring opportunity, but he held the puck for 10 or 15 legitimate seconds, spinning back and forth. And as I'm watching this, he was in the exact same location that he was doing the exact same maneuvers during warm-ups, where it's the quick turns, it's the changing directions. I mean, he would have broken my ankles the first time he turned around, but with the Panthers, they're just so responsible defensively that, even though he's probably the greatest player in the world at hockey right now, he still couldn't create anything despite being able to play keep away for 15 seconds.
You mentioned Draisaitl's elbow to the head.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look like the same player here in a final that he has during the regular season, during the rest of the playoffs. He seems frustrated. I thought he was holding the puck far too long in game one, and he just doesn't seem to be the same effective guy. Is that because of what Florida's doing to him, or is it the fact that, you know what, the stakes are different? Once you get to the Cup final, this is nothing these guys have ever seen before.
I mean, it's certainly a little bit of that, but I would sooner credit the Panthers than I would, blame
the stage. The stage isn't too big for them, is what you're saying.
I don't know that it is. I mean, the Panthers, unlike 12 months ago, entered the series incredibly healthy for a Stanley Cup Final series. And again, you only have to look back against the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Final. The Panthers held them to the lowest shot total in a playoff game in franchise history, which is a century for the New York Rangers. They have never had that few shots on goal. And they have a lot of talent. They went through Boston. They went through Tampa. There's a lot of talent on those teams. There isn't a Connor McDavid or a Leon Draisaitl, but there's probably a Leon Draisaitl on each of those teams. Connor McDavid's he's Connor McDavid, unless you're playing Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, but yeah,
McKinnon,
it's
McKinnon's a guy.
McKinnon's going to be up there.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, I would credit the Panthers more than necessarily blame the Oilers. But yeah, I mean, if they don't start breaking through for some high danger opportunities in Bobrovsky, this is going to be a quick series.
Drew Goldfarb, DGPicks.com. In addition to being a huge hockey fan, he is our sports betting analyst. And, Drew, let's talk a little bit about that. What's on your radar this time of year? Obviously, there's a lot of action going on these finals with the Stanley Cup and the NBA. Although the NBA has been so one-sided, it's ridiculous. Dallas made it interesting late last night, but Boston's been unbelievable. We haven't really even talked about that the entire show. But as far as the betting trends or, Major League Baseball, what's got your attention right now?
The NBA, if you haven't been betting yet, unless you're going to take Dallas to at least force like a Game 6, you're better off just not starting. Because right now the odds for Game 4, -112 for Boston, -104 for Dallas. You have to be correct because, that's not going to be enough turnaround where if you go 50-50, Game 4, Game 5, you're not going to make anything. And if Boston doesn't win Game 4 and you bet on Boston, there's no way to recoup your money without throwing bad money after it or throwing good money after your bad money. The Panthers and Oilers is going to be interesting. Florida +114 moneyline underdog for Game 3 tonight. One of the prop bets that jumped out at me is Connor McDavid for at least 25 minutes of ice time at FanDuel is currently +175. And I was pulling up his game-by-game stats. Game 2, 25 minutes, 59 seconds on ice. Game 1, 25 minutes, 19 seconds on ice. He was more around 20 to 22 minutes in the Dallas series, but considering how little offense the Oilers have had so far in this series, I would expect him to get more towards that because he had that at the beginning of the Dallas series too, 24 and a half minutes in Game 2, 27 plus in Game 1 of that series. So to get +175, if that hits even, what would that be? 3 out of every 5 times, you're still making money. And that should be the case for McDavid, especially with their backs really up against the wall in this kind of a situation. So I like that. Panthers at +114. If it hits today, great. If it hits Game 4 and it's still +114, you're going to make a little bit of money on that. So if you're going to take Edmonton to win, unless you're really confident it's going to be Game 3, you've got to basically take, if you're in the minuses, in order to make money long run, you've got to get both right. If you bet Edmonton, because they're the favorite, Florida, you'd only need to go 1 for 2. And for me, that's kind of the key to the series is if Florida is able to shut them down one time out of 2 in Edmonton, that's a good way to go. Decent matchup in baseball. The Phillies and Red Sox was catching my eye because of the pitching matchup. You got Aaron Nola going against Tanner Houck, whose numbers have been really good. ESPN matchup predictor, their analytics says that Boston should win 50.2% of the time. The Phillies are a much better team than the Red Sox are. Playing at home isn't necessarily like the best thing either for the Red Sox. They're a 500 team. And the stat that I had pulled up that I had found was the Red Sox are 9-20 against teams above 500. The Phillies are 8-3. Red Sox have a losing record at home. Phillies are 8 games above 500 on the road. So I go against ESPN analytics in that. Minus 112 is good enough for me for the Philadelphia Phillies in that game. The numbers would say Boston is fair, and the Philly side has some juice in it. I look at that, and I look at the pitching matchup, and I look at how these teams have fared against similar competition, and getting the Phils at minus 112 is always intriguing to me, given that they are 46-21 right now in the year.
Hey, how excited are you about betting on individual athletes? For instance, you're just talking about baseball.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most fun names currently is Paul Skeens, the starting pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rookie guy, strikes out a ton of guys. Is that a guy where you'll look and say, there could be something here, whether it's number of strikeouts or not? Or, and this is going to be a random call, women's game, WNBA, Caitlin Clark is the biggest name in women's basketball. Mm-hmm. Is there a lot more money being spent on their games and her over-unders because she's such a lightning rod right now?
Yeah, I think you're going to get that kind of attention. It's usually, when you're looking at it in the team sense, it's kind of like when you're betting on the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Maple Leafs in hockey, where you're probably not going to get the fairest odds because that is going to be the person that draws the wagers to them, right? Because they can offer Paul Skeens instead of a strikeout line of 7.5, right? Because they know they're going to get people to take the over at that, even if his line should be more 6.5 or something along those lines. But if you're going to do that, Skeens is an interesting one because he plays on the Pittsburgh Pirates, and checking their record at 32-35, not as bad as they've been in recent years, but still not a great team. It's one of those opportunities where you can always build a very small 2-leg same-game parlay and buy yourself a little insurance on Paul Skeens' strikeout numbers. So if you want to go Skeens for at least 5, and if they're playing a good team, mix it with the money line on the opposite end. Take the other team to beat him, and you're going to drive that payout up significantly because you're betting on the starting pitcher of one team finding success and the other team getting the result. So that's a really interesting way to be able to wager on a guy like Skeens, who's playing on a team that better than they have been in recent years, but still below 500.
It's all next level stuff. I love it. Drew, one final question as far as the gambling thing. Have you seen enough with Major League Baseball at this point as we, are midway through June to start thinking about some futures bets for possibly, who's going to be in the World Series, who's going to win Cy Young? And are you seeing any value in any of that at this point?
So I would say that at this point, unless you're taking a team that is currently outside of a playoff position, you're not going to get good value. If you're going to bet on the Yankees today, you're going to get worse value than you would have in April or March because they've already won 49 games. So if you're looking at something like scanning through the standings here, if Houston is 7 games below 500, you want to bet on the Astros, now is the time to do it. They're 7 games below 500. You still have 90 games left this season or so. So that's a good opportunity to get some value on them. I don't know if there's really another team. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 4 games below 500. They obviously had a really good run last year. But, if you're trying to do that, you kind of have to be predicting who the best second half team is going to be. Because, again, if you're betting on the Dodgers, if you're betting on the Phillies, the Braves are going to give you decent value because they're in second in their division, 5 games above 500. But, to look at something when you're this deep into the season, you've got to be making a bold play to get any kind of value. The NL East, I'll give you the example I said on the Braves. To have the best record in the division, and right now the Braves are 10 games back of the Phillies, the Braves would pay at 3.5 to 1, the Phillies minus 470. So, don't bet on the Phillies to win the NL East. That you're not going to get anything out of that. Put it in a treasury for 6 months.
Right.
But the Braves, if you look at the Braves and you go, okay, they're they're a great team. They're going through a bit of a skid at the moment, and if you don't buy into their 9-13 against teams above 500, and you want to go, hey, 3.5 to 1 that the Braves have a really good final 90 games in the season.
Well, unless I got some intel that Acuna's coming back, I'm probably not a buyer on that anyway. All right, Drew, good stuff as always, man. I know these guys wanted to ask you a quick wrestling question, so I don't know what you guys wanted to ask Drew about wrestling, but then we need to move on because we do want to get Bisa's segment in. Who's your dad? Although Drew, you can stick around for that if you want. Bisa's got like a Who's Your Daddy? It's like a trivia type thing. So if you want to stick around for that, we'll do that. But I know Matt was earlier saying he wanted he had a wrestling thing he wanted to bring up with you.
Well, the Coase, did you have something on the wrestling thing?
Well, we wanted to beat Dave up because he tried to watch the Iron Claw, the movie,
right,
and then
right.
he
Yes,
walked out of
okay.
the theater.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was so horrible. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a tragedy for crying out. How could you walk out of that movie? And I don't know if you saw the movie, Drew, but it was, I mean, gut-wrenching about the Von Erichs.
It was great. Yeah, I hadn't, I forgot for 10 seconds where we were going with that. That's why I threw it to you, Jim. But yeah, Dave does not, I mean, that he walked out before any of the tragedy happened, and he goes, yeah, the movie is slow. And I'm like, what do you mean it was slow?
Yeah.
Come on, man. And of course, you, Drew, watched Dark Side of the Ring, so whether you've seen the movie or not, you know the story of the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, I will admit, wrestling movies, most of them, probably that are Hollywood made, probably aren't that great. The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke was really good. This was really good. So
the one about the two English fighters, the one where the sister becomes the big star, that was a good movie.
Fighting with My Family. That's the one about Saraya, now with AEW, formerly known as Paige in WWE.
Yeah. I thought that was a good movie.
Is Paige in AEW now, or not Paige?
She has been for about a year and a half. She got medically cleared. She thought she had a career-ending injury, was able to come back. AEW has her in their women's division. Fighting with My Family, I liked, but as a wrestling fan, they left so many big parts out for me that I was like, I know that you have to simplify it for the idea of the movie, but the big finale of that, the amazing thing about Paige making her WWE debut was she was the NXT Women's Champion, technically the NXT Divas Champion, and debuted the night after Mania and won the WWE Divas title. So they left out the whole part about her winning the NXT title, and I was just like, that was such a big part for her run and her rise. But it's they're still cool to see, and I get that when you make it Hollywood like that, stuff that wrestling fans would care about as far as those types of things may not register with an audience because they're going to go, well, she was already a champion. Why does it matter that she won another title? But, when you're a wrestling fan, it's kind of like, winning your conference in football versus winning a national championship.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's a good explanation.
Drew Goldfarb, go to dgpicks.com and check out his expertise on a lot of things. By the way, are you strictly picks on the website, or are you offering up any blog stuff about any of your sports takes?
I've done a couple of those types of things. I've got those posted online as well, but I did one on college football with being able to pay their players directly. I've done one on the Arizona Coyotes right before that team relocated to Utah, and why I feel it's important that the Coyotes are brought back for the version of for the health of the game of hockey. But we'll find out the answer to that one in about 2 weeks, if the Coyotes are coming back or if not. And I wonder how quickly the NHL will announce expansion if the Alex Morello, the former owner but the still property manager of the Arizona Coyotes, whether he wins that land auction or not on June 29th. I wonder how quickly after that they'll announce expansion, because I don't think they're only adding one team, and I think we're getting two regardless.
All right, well, stay tuned on that.
Give me, where's the second city going to be?
They've
got to give one to Canada. They've got to go to Canada.
Nope, it's going to be Houston is, I think, pretty much a given, and I think that if Arizona doesn't come back, I think we're going to see Atlanta again.
Wow. All right.
I've heard Atlanta. Yeah, I've heard the group in Atlanta. They want to build a new facility and do a lot of what the Braves did with their situation.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right on that.
I don't know if we'll get it on July 1st or, right after that, after free agency, if the Coyotes owner doesn't win this land auction. But I think Houston and Atlanta get announced pretty quickly, or at the very least, they're going to explore it if Arizona is not announced.
Would Phoenix keep the name Coyotes? Would Phoenix?
They already own it. Yeah.
Okay.
Alex Morello still owns the history, which unfortunately also includes the history of the Winnipeg Jets 1.0. It would be great if they could give that portion of the history to Winnipeg Jets 2.0.
I agree. Agreed.
If you're going to just float around team histories and stuff like that, you might as well correct a wrong.
Yeah, because I got news for you. An 11-year-old kid going to a Phoenix game doesn't care about the Winnipeg history. So anyway, all right. Bisa has rejoined, and let's get Bisa. Let's get her camera open and get her on. Our associate producer Bisa. Although my theme song here is just spinning here. Why is that doing that to me? I'm trying to bring in the match game theme so we can play a little. Bisa's got an idea for a segment called "Who's Your Daddy?" and we'll let her explain what it is. If she can open up her mic and.
It's all questions about
camera.
Indiana Hoosiers.
Yep.
My first answer is Isaiah Thomas.
Pedro Martinez. What?
Pedro Martinez. Yeah, Pedro Martinez. Yeah. I'm not sure what Bisa is. She disappeared for a while. Now she's.
By the way, Drew. Just we're trying to fill a few seconds here. I did have there's those things where like there's a pitcher who gives up one hit and then gets 27 straight outs. So technically it's not a perfect game, but well, I had a parlay that it was like a 10-team parlay and 9 of them hit. I would have won $15,000 had it not been for the Orioles only scoring 7 instead of over 7.5. And that was the first one. And then all the rest of them won. And I'm sitting there watching it like, couldn't one of you lose? Come on, man.
Especially with a bet like that being the one to caution, because taking a baseball team for over 7.5 runs in any game is going to be quite the statement to make on that. That's probably why you're getting a 15,000 to 1 or whatever odds on it. But yeah, that's rough to miss it by a point.
Well, they had scored 7 runs by the 5th inning.
Yeah, so, I mean, but you placed the bet before the game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there
we go.
Here's a match game.
Yeah, that just popped on. Although we've lost Bisa again, so I don't know. Maybe this segment's not going to happen because it was Bisa's idea, and she was basically she was going to give us great father-son combos in sports and give us clues, and we were going to need to guess who they were. Yes, that's the answer to all
Bobby
of them,
Hull,
isn't
Brett
it?
Hull.
It's
all 3 Kachucks.
The Boones, the Boone family.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Who else do we have in the lineage? We're about to have the James family with Bronny and LeBron.
Which shouldn't happen, but yeah, go ahead.
But the game's not as fun
Why,
without
is
the
LeBron
creator
gonna
of
be
the
playing in
game.
the G League
Matt,
next year?
is she in the waiting room, Matt?
Yeah,
Or
no,
she-
she's rejoining. She has an audio issue. Yeah, I mean, so Drew, we haven't actually gotten your opinion on this. The whole LeBron James Bronny thing. No player in the history of forever would have 4 points a game and be looked at as a pick for the draft. And because Bronny James has the last name James, I mean, do you think he really should get drafted?
I mean, it's, I remember going back a long time with the NBA that you would get, was it Yao Ming who basically was he number one, Dave, was he number 1 overall?
I believe he was, yes.
Yes, he was.
But, he didn't play college. You had all the college basketball players. You had all the high school basketball players that were eligible for that year. And, it kind of went if you're only paying
but he was
attention to North American sports.
but he was 7'5" though.
That is very true. And, it's not like he had never played basketball before. But, it's a little odd to see someone talked about when their numbers aren't great. I mean, you do sometimes get that. Like you'll sometimes see that with, where you're kind of drafting for the raw physical talent of a player as opposed to kind of what they've done to that point. But in basketball, when the draft is so short, that feels very different than like throwing one of your 7+ picks in the NFL at someone, right? To be like, oh, well, he played, love the physical attributes of him, but he only played 5 games last year, so we're going to take a chance. Like, it does feel different because the NBA draft is just so limited. You get only so many picks every year.
And the draft is coming up soon. Do we know the draft date? Will the draft have happened? Is it next Thursday? It's usually a Thursday.
Yeah,
June 26th and 27th.
Yeah.
They're 2 weeks away.
So there you go. All right. Well, listen, I think we're going to say goodbye to Drew, and I don't know what Bisa's tech issues are, but we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with Celebrity MMA because we need to get that in, and maybe we'll sneak in a quick mailbag if we can. I feel bad because Bisa had this great idea, and now she's having tech issues, but that's the way it goes in the world of LFG. Drew, good to talk to you, my friend, and we'll talk to you next week, and, go Panthers tonight. There you go. Drew's ready to go. Back with more LFG after this quick time.
We have nothing in common.
Oh, sure we do. We love each other.
I want a divorce.
that your lifestyle has been very unorthodox. And I refuse to further subject 3 innocent children to your peculiar and potentially harmful behavior. It is the court's ruling to award sole custody to Mrs. Hillary.
Hello?
Hello? I'm calling in regards to the ad I read in the paper.
Yes. Well, would you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Oh, certainly, dear.
I'm addicted to my children, sir. I love them with all my heart. And the idea of someone telling me I can't be with them, I can't see them every day, it's like someone saying I can't have air.
You got 911 now!
You're my goddamn kid,
Ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille?
You remind me of someone.
It's the bottom of the hour, or close enough. Time for your Tickscape Studios Sports Update with Matt Fowler.
New Orleans Saints tight end Juwan Johnson is scheduled to undergo foot surgery next week and will be sidelined a while. The source told Adam Scheffner that the hope is Johnson will be back for the start of the regular season. The Saints will open the season at home against the Carolina Panthers on September 8th. For all the news, updates, and hot takes, tune in to LFG with Dave Benz, Jim Kozimor, myself, Matt Fowler, and our associate producer, Bisa. Now back to LFG.
Is a while the technical medical diagnosis? Sidelined a while.
It said a while, but a while was in quotes.
Okay.
So that I come on, Scheffner.
It's a while with a lower body injury. That's what was the injury? I didn't pay attention to what the injury was. Was it lower body or upper body?
It was a foot surgery.
So it was a lower body. It is a lower body injury.
It is, but good to know, Dave, that you're not paying attention to anything I'm saying on sports.
Well, I was opening up the script for Celebrity MMA. I'm getting ready for our next segment here, which is this is going to be a big one, Celebrity MMA, because we talked about at the top of the show. Joey Chestnut is being told by the Nathan's hot dog eating people that he's not welcome at this year's thing. So he's got a little bit of a beef. So they're going to settle it in the octagon.
The guy that eats hot dogs has a beef?
Yes, he has a beef. Yes, or whatever they say is in there. Are we all ready to go? Are we ready to give this a shot? Coach, you ready to go with Celebrity MMA?
Yeah, just a second. I just saw someone who was in our sports writer, famous sports writer, passed away either today or yesterday. A guy by the name of Mike Downey. I don't know if you remember him. He wrote for the Detroit Free Press, Chicago Sun-Times, Chicago Tribune, and I believe the L.A. Times. And he passed away of a heart attack at the age of 72. I just saw that come across my desk.
Oh,
Very
well,
sad.
That's sad news. I do not know. I do not know Mike Downey, but that is. I'm sure I've read his work if he's been around that long.
Yeah, he was pretty big time. 80s, 90s, early 2000s. He was married to Dean Martin's daughter, Gail Martin.
Wow, really?
That's pretty good claim to fame.
Yeah.
There you go.
So a heart attack at 72. That's what's so funny is as you get older, you start thinking like, wow, that's so young, right? Like when you're 28, you're like 72. Oh, that's ancient. But when you get to when you get to
my age, you're like 72. I could see that down the stretch run here.
right.
72 is not too far off in the distance for me. So
yeah.
It's exactly true. You're exactly right. So.
Yeah, my sister just turned 59, so it's starting to hit a little close to home that I've got a sibling now that is almost 60, and I'm not that far away. So that's
and you don't feel it. Like, you're still, no matter what your age is, it starts with a 5, mine starts with a 6, and you're like, 60, I feel like I can do whatever I could have done when I was in my 40s or when I was in my 30s.
Exactly.
But,
meanwhile, try drinking like you were 20 when you're in your 30s. That does not work out too well.
Yeah, you realize when you get to be our age that you don't try to do that anymore. All right, are
No,
we
that's-
ready?
yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do our it's our staple celebrity MMA on Thursday, LFG. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tickscape Arena, another electrifying celebrity MMA showdown. Dave Benz alongside Jim Kozumor. Matt Fowler, our sideline reporter, is with us. And this one is a battle that is sure to be a feast for the eyes and the ears, Mr. Kozumor.
Oh, that's a good play on words. That's right, Dave. In one corner, we have the legendary competitive eater, Joey Jaws Chestnut, the reigning champion of the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. And in the other corner, we have the iconic Nathan's Hot Dog mascot, Mr. Mustard. This fight promises to, excuse me,
I was saying Mr. Mustard?
Mr. Mustard, and this promises to be as entertaining as it is bizarre.
And Coach, Joey Chestnut is bringing a unique strategy to the octagon. He not only plans to fight, he's going to eat hot dogs during the match as well. He feels like that will fuel his kicks and his punches. This thing could be wild.
That is absolutely correct, David. The crowd is buzzing with anticipation. We have some big celebrities in attendance tonight, and these people love themselves some glizzies. I see Lady Gaga in the audience. I see LeBron James. I even see Ryan Reynolds amongst the dignitaries. The red carpet rolled out for this one. Do you guys know what a glizzy is?
A glizzy, I do not know, but perhaps Matt Fowler knows. He is standing by with, it's James Earl Jones. Darth Vader himself is in the crowd. In fact, Matt is there with the legendary actor right now. Matt?
James, at the spry age of 91, you have taken the trouble to come to the Tickscape Arena for this matchup. Why would you do that?
I needed to be here tonight. This will no doubt be one of the greatest nights in the history of sport.
That is amazing. Enjoy the fight, James.
Hey, Matt, good stuff. And here comes Joey Chestnut making his way to the octagon. He's wearing a Nathan's Famous t-shirt. Interesting, considering with the controversy. And his entourage is carrying trays of hot dogs. Joey's already munching on one as he walks in. He's looking confident and ready to go.
Oh, look at this. Here comes Mr. Mustard making his entrance, the mascot, wearing his signature hot dog suit, complete with the mustard stripes. His entourage includes a ketchup ball. Who uses ketchup on a hot dog?
I do.
Kick him out. Plus, the relish is there by his side, adding to the carnival-like atmosphere. The crowd is loving it, except for the ketchup.
As they step into the octagon, you can see the contrast here. Joey Chestnut, the seasoned competitor, and Mr. Mustard, a playful mascot. But don't be fooled, folks. This is going to be a serious fight.
Do you really put ketchup on your dog?
I do. It's fantastic.
What are you, a child? It's like only a 4-year-old does that.
I'm a big ketchup fan, man.
What do you not enjoy food? You not put ketchup on your hot dog.
Oh,
relish
God.
is disgusting. Relish is terrible.
Oh, relish is really good. Relish is yummy. I put a little celery salt on mine as well. That's not so bad. Anyway, let's get back to this. The fighters.
Jim's un-American. He puts celery away.
You guys don't know what a good Chicago dog is. The fighters are now in the center, and here comes the stare down. Joey looks focused, still chewing on a hot dog, which is gross. Remember, it's hot dogs and buns that you must count, while Mr. Mustard is trying to look intimidating in his big foam suit. The ref gives the final instructions. Here we go.
Oh, and Chestnut starts off by rolling down another hot dog, and then immediately he goes in for a jab. Where's my punch sound effect? Oh, here we go. There we go. He's going in for a jab, and Mr. Mustard dodges using his bulky costume to absorb some of the impact.
When I hear the bell, I always want to get a Taco Bell, but this is about dogs, real dogs. Joey lands a quick combo. Mr. Mustard stumbles back. Joey's using his hot dog eating skills to keep his energy up. It's like nothing we've ever seen in the octagon.
Mr. Mustard's trying to retaliate with a swinging punch, but those short foam arms are making it difficult to land anything effective, and Joey just continues to duck. He counters with a powerful kick to the mascot's midsection. His hot dog bits are flying everywhere.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at Joey go. He's mixing his punches with bites of hot dogs. He throws a right, then takes a bite. It's a culinary and martial arts performance all in one.
Mr. Mustard is struggling to keep up. He tries to kick Joey, but those short legs aren't doing much damage. Oh, no! Mr. Mustard has tripped over his own feet. He's fallen flat onto his back.
Joey takes this opportunity to eat another hot dog. We've got to get a counter on that. Completely unbothered by his fallen opponent. The crowd is eating it up. No pun intended.
Oh, just 10 seconds left in the round now, and Joey's not letting up. He's got a spinning back fist, and now Mr. Mustard is down on the ground yet again.
There's the bell. Oh, wow, what a first round. I have not seen that much action in a long time, so let's go downstairs. Our Matt Fowler has the sideline report.
Thanks, guys. Man, is it intense down here. Joey Chestnut is in his corner munching on hot dogs while his team hydrates him, but meanwhile, Mr. Mustard is the team's trying to prep him up, but he looks winded. And let me tell you, I got caught in the face with a flurry of mustard. That's not fun. It gets in your eyes and it really stings. Definitely not what I signed up for. Back to you guys.
Round 2 begins and Joey comes out strong, finishing another hot dog before launching a flurry of punches. Mr. Mustard is on the defensive, trying to block with his foam arms.
Joey now lands a massive uppercut, sending Mr. Mustard reeling. The mascot is in trouble here, Coach. Joey is relentless, following up with a knee to the body.
Mr. Mustard tries to mount a comeback with a wild swing, but Joey ducks under and takes him down to the mat. This could be it.
Joey moves to side control, managing to take a bite of another hot dog in the process. He's got Mr. Mustard pinned and is raining down relentless punches.
Oh, boy, the ref is looking closely. Mr. Mustard isn't defending himself effectively. Joey transitions to mount, and it's all over. The ref steps in and stops the fight.
Joey Chestnut is your winner by TKO in the second round. What a performance. He's celebrating with his team, and the crowd is on its feet cheering for the hot dog champ.
Well, Dave, it's an incredible display of mixed martial arts and competitive eating. Joey Chestnut proving once again he's not just a champion at the table, but in the octagon as well.
Joey is celebrating by, eating yet another hot dog. Boy, that was absolutely amazing. Mr. Mustard's being helped to his feet now, looking a bit deflated, literally and figuratively.
This was one for the books, folks. A truly unique and entertaining fight. Joey Chestnut, the undisputed champion in more ways than one.
Let's get it down to Matt Fowler standing by, ready to interview the winner.
Joey, congratulations on the win. You managed to mix eating hot dogs and fighting. How the hell did you pull that off? Damn it, that's my good suit. Jesus.
Good line.
All right, looks like Joey might have overdone it. We're going to need some cleanup here, and I got to go back to the suit store. Damn it, back to you guys.
Well, that's a wrap on this wild event. Joey Chestnut wins, but pays the price with the stomach. Until next time, keep your gloves up and your stomachs ready.
Now, do we have the vomit sound again? It sounded like Joey was heaving and taking a hit of a bomb. Am I correct? It's like he's hurling. Yep. And then taking a hit of a bomb right at the end. Maybe that eases his tummy.
I mean, hey, I wouldn't be surprised, but
yeah. I'd have to do that just to be that hungry. Maybe that's how he stays that hungry and continues to eat the dogs.
That's not healthy.
There is a term for it. It's not heaving. They have a term in competitive eating for regurgitating that food back.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. It's called sanity. I don't know. Cleansing.
Man.
Cleansing.
Look it up, Matt. They have an official term. They have their own vocabulary.
Yeah. By the way, Matt, early in the show, Coase asked you to come up with some WNBA stuff. So I don't know if you came up with that to try and get us going on that. But Bisa is back, so let's try to get in Bisa's "Who's Your Daddy" bit. So let's get Bisa back in here. And hello, Bisa. All right, so Bisa, let me.
Hey, did you guys see the guy get tased at a Major League Baseball game?
No.
No? What happened with that?
Yeah, there was a dude at a game, and I'm trying to figure out the game, but he ran onto the field, did a backflip, and then ran away from an officer, and the officer tased him, and the dude just goes down. I've never been tased, but I understand it is wicked.
I saw a guy get tased on a street in Santa Barbara one time, and it did not look fun.
No, you're just like shaking. You're just like, he's down. Anyway, I was wondering what game it was. Was it the Atlanta? It's Gorilla Glue and Gorilla Tape is the sponsor. I'm trying to see.
By the way, we do need to, maybe I should sneak this in real quick. So, Bisa, don't go anywhere. But there is one piece of news that I would be remiss if we didn't get it in before the show's over. And we only have 10 minutes left in the show. But I'm trying to find my sounder for this. Here we go. We do need to get this in to give a certain somebody his props.
What's a weekend of sports without a little action? And no one craves the action more than gambling degenerate aficionado Matt Fowler.
How many sandwiches will he lose this week?
It's time for another edition of Being Matt's Bookie.
I'm only bringing this in because Coase.
Yes.
Matt's losing streak came to an end last week.
No,
it
did not.
It is all over. His losing streak is actually officially over. Matt Fowler last week, I didn't like the bet. He wanted to he took the Celtics -6.5 in game 1 of the NBA Finals. He wanted to put up 10 sandwiches on a straight bet. I felt bad. I didn't like the bet. I also felt like the Celtics would cover.
Don't qualify it. You lost your ass, dude.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
You wanted to bet 10 sandwiches, and I got it down to 5 only, and I only took the action because I wanted to do the segment justice. But you actually made a good bet, and you owed me 9 sandwiches, and you won 5 back.
Sandwich scoreboard update.
So as of now, you've for the first time in the history of the show, you won a sandwich bet, and you are now you now owe Coase 8 sandwiches, and you owe me 4 sandwiches.
Gotta start somewhere.
All right, so let's do Bisa's segment, and we'll revisit this to give Matt time to come up with a bet to close out the show. But let's get into Bisa's "Who's Your Daddy" segment. So, Bisa, how is this going to work?
Okay, so I have some trivia about some pretty famous father-son duos within the sports world.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you guys hints to see if you guys know who the father-son duos are.
I love this. I love this idea.
How many are there? How many are we having total?
I'm going to pick through a few. I gave myself options.
All right, let's cap it at let's go with 5 because we got 8 minutes left in the show.
Okay. Okay, the first one. So this is Dan. He's one of the NFL's best quarterbacks in the 1970s and early 80s. He's made 2 Pro Bowls and was named Sporting News Player of the Year in 1978. One of his sons finished his illustrious Hall of Fame career with 7 All-Pro nods, 5 MVPs, and 2
Archie
Super Bowl
and Peyton
rings.
Manning.
Yes.
Woo! Awesome.
Okay. All right, let's see. I want to get you guys on at least one. Okay, so this is Dad, 3-time All-Star, won a World Series title, First player since George Foster in '77 to hit at least 50 home runs in a season.
Wow.
Led the American League in home runs in 1990 and 91.
Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder.
Oh, damn it. I was going to go there.
You guys are awesome at this game.
Like, I'm not even getting finished with the dad.
Well, I just know that Cecil, when he hit 50 home runs in 1990, it was a huge deal because nobody was hitting that many home runs. That was the steroid era, and then 50 became a low number.
Okay, this is hopefully a good one. So, Dad played 19 seasons in the NFL, appeared in 278 games, the most by a linebacker, recorded 1,561 tackles, 69.5 sacks, and 16 interceptions in his career. A 4-time Pro Bowler and was first team All-Pro. And his son is a 6-time Pro Bowler, named the NFL Defensive Player.
Wow.
Totaled 91.5 sacks, 17 forced fumbles, and 6 interceptions in his 11-year career.
Wow.
Is the son still playing, or is the son retired?
Retired.
The dad was a great linebacker, and the son is a great defensive player. Wow. You'd think that one would jump off the page, right?
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Yeah, for a while, because didn't Bosa's dad play in the NFL, but he wasn't as good as his sons.
Well, yeah, and the sons are still playing, so that eliminates them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
What years were the father and the son?
So, son was active with one team, because I don't want to give it away. So, with one team from 2009 to 2018, and then in 2019 played a season with a different team.
Did J.J. Watt's dad play in the NFL?
Oh, that's a good guess. That's a good guess.
That's not who this is.
Gosh.
And let's see.
Did he play for the Cowboys?
Okay, I'm checking Dad. No. Dad was active from 78 to 93 on a team and 94 to 96 on another.
Wow. 78 to 90. Wow.
78 to 96.
That's a career.
That's a good long run.
Yeah, that is. As a linebacker. Phew. You got me on this one.
Yeah, I got no clue. You got us on this one.
Yeah, you
Clay
win.
Matthews Jr. and the third.
Yeah, I would not have gotten that.
I don't like that guy. I don't like Clay Matthews.
I would have not have gotten that. All right.
He was good in Pitch Perfect.
All right, so we got 3 down, 2 to go. We're 2-1.
Okay. Here's a good one. So, Dad finished his 16-year career with an MVP, 8 Silver Slugger awards, and 9 All-Star nods, and was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2018. The son already has an All-Star and Silver Slugger under his belt and a runner-up MVP finish.
Runner-up MVP of a son that's playing now. Wow.
I can give you a fun fact that may help.
Okay.
I like fun facts.
So the duo made waves in recent years after the Blue Jay star reached 87 home runs.
Oh, I know who it is.
Go ahead, Dave.
I know
Biggio?
It's Vlad Guerrero and Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I got a good Vlad story, but it's not for air.
Okay. How about both of them playing for Canadian teams, by the way, with Vlad Guerrero coming up with the Expos and Junior playing with the Blue Jays.
Don't the Blue Jays have the All Suns team? They just traded Biggio, but they had Vlad Jr., Biggio. They had another guy. They had one other guy that I think was his dad was a former Colorado Rocky.
Yeah. All right. What do we got for the fourth one?
Okay, Dad. He's the only driver to have seen 7 championships.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Okay.
Wow, that was quick.
Wow. Well, you completely stumped us on one, and the other ones we got pretty quick. So yeah, I don't know what that says. I think we just were we were in tune on the one. How about with
I technically have one more.
Okay, one more.
shot.
All right, let's do it. One more.
Okay. Okay, I'll go with this one. So, Dad, #1 pick in the NBA draft, won back-to-back NBA championships, was on the all-rookie team, went on the average 13.7 points and 7.4 rebounds per game in his career, and averaged a double-double with 20.8 points and 11.7 rebounds per game. Now, the son, who is active, has won 4 NBA championships.
Steph Curry?
Nope. 5-time All-Star.
Seth Curry.
No.
That was a joke.
was named to the all-rookie team, won the three-point contest, and holds the NBA playoff record for most three-pointers made in a game with 11.
Damn it! I know this.
NBA playoff record with 11 made threes. I should know this.
Klay Thompson?
No.
Yes.
Oh, is it Klay Thompson? It is.
That's
wow.
a good one.
Michael and
Yeah.
Klay.
Yeah, Michael did win back-to-back titles. There you go. All right.
Fun fact: they were the fourth father-son duo to win each win an NBA title as a player and the first to win back-to-back championships.
Wow, that's awesome. That is great knowledge by Bisa, our associate producer, crushing it out there in Vegas. By the way, is it pool weather today in Vegas?
Pool weather, yeah. Like, let's see, weather today. Okay, it's 104, so and we are thankfully
a little
leaving
bit cold. Little bit cold in Vegas right now.
Well, because we're going up to 108, then we're going to mid-90s, so that's going to be cooler, really. Then we're jumping back to 110 plus, so.
All right. Well, we'll just enjoy some pool weather for us. It's cool out here. All right, let's get back real quick to our final to wrap up the show. Matt, you've had a little bit of time to come up with a wager for Coz and I to bid on. Let's see if you can actually have a winning streak here to go into next week. What are you looking at for your wager for being Matt's bookie this week?
I'm taking the Edmonton Oilers tonight.
Edmonton Oilers money line tonight.
Money line, yep.
Just outright to win. And what is the odds that Vegas is giving on that?
-135.
So that means you would have to bet. So basically, I will. So how many sandwiches do you want to put up?
I will put up 4 sandwiches.
4 sandwiches. All right. I will put 2 sandwiches to your 4.
Yeah, I still don't get this, so I'm going to give it to you. I don't get.
Okay.
I still to this day don't understand. So you're going to go for what is yours?
I'm going to chip away at the sandwich.
So Matt's having to buy the odds this time rather than us giving him the odds because he's betting the favorite. He's having to give us odds. So if Matt loses, he's going to owe me 4 sandwiches, and if I lose, I'll owe him 2.
Got it. All right.
So,
that sounds good. I like this because you know what? I kind of think Edmonton. I think they do it tonight. I want to watch this stinking thing, but I've got a darn cornhole league I'm in, and I got a big cornhole match tonight at 7:30.
You're in a cornhole league in addition to pickleball.
Yes, cornhole is hardcore. The great Jay Cutler is in our league.
And obscure sports. What
yeah, I know. Well, you got to do something. I'm in a golf tournament next Thursday. I might not be able to do the show. I'm in a golf tournament. Big money tournament too. It's like $650 to join. Exactly.
Well,
I'm gonna have to call you from the course.
Yeah, golf tournament Thursday. All right. Well, we'll.
It's a
discuss
Thursday.
that.
You know what? I tee off at 8:30 in the morning, so I might be available.
Okay. Well. Yeah. Well, you'll be available maybe for the latter half, so that'd be all right. We could push our start time back too. We could push the start time back to 11 Pacific, which would be 1 year time. Anyway, we'll discuss. We're guessing most people are probably listening to this on a replay and not live anyway. So, all right, guys, it's been a lot of fun. There's so much stuff we didn't even get to today.
Sports?
Like sports. Yes, we didn't get to mailbag. We didn't get to.
We didn't get to the Falcons getting dinged a draft pick because they were sniffing around on Kirk Cousins before they should have been.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff we didn't get to. Did they get what draft pick, by the way, was it?
I thought it'd be more, but I think they only got a 5th round pick that they got taken away.
That's not really that bad.
No, it's not horrible. I mean, they've had it where, they've canned 1st round picks from some teams for this egregious type of situation. But it was, it's Kirk Cousins' fault. He's the guy who mentioned it at a press conference.
Yeah, well, but he doesn't care. He's still getting paid. Anyway, all right, guys, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll chat again. I'm sure on our text chain a bunch between now and next week, and we'll see everybody next Thursday.
I'm gonna go to my fridge and I'm gonna get a hot dog and I'm gonna slather it in ketchup.
Yeah, and you should Coz, order yourself a DoorDash sandwich and put it on Matt's tab.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I don't even know how to use DoorDash. I'm embarrassed when I see someone DoorDash something.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
See you later. Shaka.